Marshall skips away. Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test Champions.
Welcome back to another episode of the TGIF podcast. Thank God it's footy. I guess we'll get to the elephant in the room straight away. Big derby win for the Dragons.
TGIF derby win for you, exactly.
Taking the clean sweep this year. So yeah, had to rep it. But plenty else going on in the footy world. Wasn't just the big Friday night.
Wasn't just the big TGIF derby. We did have obviously a big week there of rugby league to get into, and that kicked off on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And it was kicked off about 20 past 10, and it was all done by 10:28.
Yeah, it was, not really much else to say that hasn't already been said on it. As you said, the game was done and dusted the moment you saw Lee given his marching orders for a very hectic
Very bad
hit on Reece Walsh there. But yeah, I think it sounds like people are pretty split on this. Obviously, probably a bad enough shot to be a send-off there, no doubt about that, but just the fact that it is that Origin arena.
I think you get sent off any NRL game, but that early Origin game, you don't put out a red card like that.
Not only is it the game gone, like realistically, it's probably the series gone for New South Wales. So it's quite a hectic call, but it is what it is. Well played Queensland, I suppose, on the day. They didn't play their best game of footy, but they managed to take advantage of those numbers, particularly early in that first half there. Just seemed like New South Wales didn't really sort things out. But a few tries there. Hammer was having himself a field day. But then New South Wales, they came out with a bit of fight in that second half. There was a little bit of a chance, glimmer of hope when Lomax went over early. 20-12, I think it was, or 20-10 maybe. But yeah, after that, wasn't pretty for New South Wales, but probably a few positives to take out of it.
I'll be honest, I went to bed with about 25 minutes to go, I think it was. I just thought, there's not much more point in staying up and having too tired of a Thursday. So I did go to bed a little bit early, but you're probably right. There's a few positives to take out of it.
It's kind of silly to say when it's only a 3-game series. You don't want to be trying to build into it too much. You want to be hitting the ground running, which Queensland managed to do results wise. Whether or not they played their best on the day, a few really good performances there though. DC, I thought, magic touch.
Yep.
Everything he touched turned to gold in the end. Ben Hunt, as always, lifts that little bit extra on the Origin arena. As plenty of those Queenslanders do, I suppose. Hammer was...
I thought Spencer Leniu was awesome.
Spencer Leniu off the bench changed the game for New South Wales there.
Probably New South Wales' best, I'd say.
In
terms of the impact that
possibly Lomax, looking at it through biased eyes, was also pretty good. Tyler was also making plenty of yardage. Lots of talk around a couple of shake-ups there though for New South Wales.
Well and truly.
Obviously there's going to have to be another outside back, whether it's a centre replacement.
I think it's possibly a Bradman Best.
Matty Burton was in the squad for cover in those positions.
Matty Burton was in there for cover.
Lots and lots of talk around Latrell joining the side there.
Played good when he needed to on the weekend, so that was back to what you expect to see of Latrell Mitchell, I think. So he's done it at the right time. Does he come in? Do we see a shake-up in the halves?
Yeah, look, I think
Nico Hines pretty poor.
Nico Hines was poor, but there's no way you can judge him off playing with 12 men in Origin. Look, I just don't think Nico quite has that that experience of nailing it in a big game.
Yeah.
To have the confidence, like I think someone like Mitch Moses comes into the side there probably at 7.
Yeah, I
a
reckon
little
you
bit
bring
more confidence. If Reynolds was around, he might have been getting a call.
Yeah, I think you bring
Possibly.
Moses in.
Cleary, obviously the main candidate there, but yeah, Mitch Moses. He was back in action on the weekend. Whether or not he's playing at his sparkling best, he returned that first game and played a hell of a game.
Yeah.
But yeah, whether or not we see a shake up there, it's probably tough on Nico, given the whole chat around last time was he didn't really get given a chance in his position. Now he got given a chance in his position. It's
And he
probably
got to play properly for 8 minutes.
one of the toughest asks in Origin, really. 12 men up against 13 now.
I think it is probably a little bit rough on him, you're right. But Madge's obviously going to have to make a decision as to what he thinks is going to be that game
I think
changer.
you're going to probably need Moses for his long kicking game.
Yeah.
It's just, nothing on Nico, but Moses has got an extra 10 yards on him, I reckon.
Uppy, I think, is probably going to come in as well.
Uppy, maybe this year, the POD off the bench, Reece Robson was immense.
Defensively.
And could do a good job sort of taking that early sting out of
They didn't have that speed, they needed that speed of Uppy, the quick play the ball.
Yeah, or if you get Uppy in there, if you're desperately defending a lead, you can chuck Robson back on for his defence, get him out there to start the game possibly. I don't think he did anything wrong, so to speak, but yeah, lacking a bit of spark from New South Wales, and Appy could provide it. I think Edwards probably comes back in. Nothing against Tedesco. I don't think he was terrible, but certainly didn't light it up. Probably enough to, wipe Dylan Edwards out of making that debut in game 2 there, provided he makes it to kick off fit. But
yeah, I think
there's plenty of thinking for Madge to do.
I think as long as he's fit, you got to chuck him in there, Edwards. But yeah, there's going to have to be a couple of changes. I think. What are we next Wednesday?
It's the Wednesday before Matariki.
So the Wednesday after, I believe.
So, a little Thursday sickie might be a little bit suspicious, but could be done.
Nah,
Make it an extra long weekend.
Is that next Thursday? I think because next Friday, no, it's the Thursday afterwards, it must be. Week 9, I believe. It's Thursday afterwards.
Yeah. I think Origin's on the 26th, Matariki.
26th. I could take a little. Could do a little 27th day off, eh?
You could do.
Then you got no dramas with the old lady, but
through Origin into a 4-day weekend would be a bit of a treat. But
it would be like I'd feel too guilty on the Thursday to do anything, and I'd lie in bed all day feeling sorry for myself and going, I should have just gone to bloody work. Origin wasn't the only game on over the last week though. We did have nearly a full round. We had obviously 3 teams off the bye there, but 7 games, and we did manage to We've a pretty tasty looking team of the week, I must say, this week. It's I think on paper, when you look at the size of the names there, it's got to be up there with one of the best teams of the week we've had, I reckon. Halves maybe the only area where you're looking going, and lock.
Look, you got to get in there with some cheapies.
You do.
In the salary cap era.
You do need to be. You're right.
We're not Man City. We're not Chelsea splashing the cash here. Unfortunately, although it may not seem like it, if we were to create the side, we wouldn't be able to go $1 million contracts across the board.
Nah, not at all. That's
leaving not too much room for the rest of the top 30 there.
Not at all. There's quite a
12 million on their starting 13.
Quite a bit of money involved, and start off at the back with the man we're saying playing well at the right moment there on the weekend. Latrell Mitchell had himself a field day there on the weekend.
Yeah. 2 or 3 try assists. Opened the scoring for South as well. Maybe a little statement to Madge, potentially. Pick me, I'm your man, but Yeah, a great performance by Latrell against the Titans there.
Then we get, what are we looking at? 44 points scored by your two wingers there over the weekend.
Yep.
32 and 12.
3 tries apiece.
Zaki Lomax on one wing, Brian Tor on the other. Tommy Talau only misses out even though he scored 4 just based off the fact that they lost.
Yeah, and Tyler probably had a bit more of an impact. Potentially.
Also just played another game on the Wednesday as well, so you're going to give him a little bit of extra.
Yeah, backing up from Origin.
But Tommy Talau would definitely be running on there as your 14th man. I think definitely deserved a shout out. And this one, we could have chucked him at the centre, to be fair. We could have chucked Tommy Talau.
We could have chucked Talau at centre. We could have chucked Lomax at centre.
But we've gone for Dane Gagai and Stephen Crichton. Crichton pretty influential in the Doggies win there against the Eels, and Dan Gagai still playing some pretty decent footy.
Yeah, an awesome try.
Very good try, eh?
Good feet.
Very nice try.
Nice footwork from the old buck there. Still got the moves. So yeah, he's made the team of the week once again. A regular appearance.
Yeah,
he's Dan Gagai.
He's a repeat offender, that's for sure. Pretty tasty looking back five. We said that the halves pairing a little bit weaker. Now we've opted for Wishart and Tamati Martin there as your halves pairing. Maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but I thought Martin, he had himself a game there on the weekend for the Warriors.
I think everyone was talking about Tamati Martin after that one. It was a masterclass really, and Tyron Wishart chipping in with a couple of nice tries. A good performance for the Storm. Back to I guess your meat and potatoes, your stock standard, your staples. 2 front rowers, 2 double barrels.
Yep.
AFB and JFH.
How good. AFB continuing to score tries there for the Warriors. And Fisher Harris also dotting himself out from a meaty, I think. Did he?
I can't remember. I'll have a look.
Why do I feel like he did? I might be wrong there.
Oh.
I know I've got him in there this weekend to score a try. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. But for some reason I had the feeling that he may have got himself a try there in that one. No.
Liam Henry did.
Liam Henry, maybe that's what I was thinking. But yeah, your 2 double barrels as your 2 props, which is nice and slotting there in between them. Jacob Little always seems to play well. Seems to play his best games when he's up against the Tigers, I've seen now. So he slots in there in the hooking role in a pretty dominant performance.
Yeah, he went off with a HIA there, but bounced back and managed to play those 65 odd minutes pretty well for the Dragons there. Wasn't the star of the show, but very handy nonetheless. Into the back rowers, one who probably was one of the stars of the show there, tearing it up on the left edge, Luciano Leilua, back to his damaging best.
Another player up against his old team.
Yeah, it seems to go well up against the Tigers, old Luciano. Must be a little bit of feeling there.
Joined by Eisenhuth there behind him at lock, also up against his old team, who also had himself a bloody good game.
Yeah, definitely not as damaging.
Yeah, I think there was about 7 or 8 players in the game that had played for the opposing team.
We had like 5 or 6 ex-Tigers.
Yeah, and we had Sullivan and Sullivan. Maybe only one.
Sullivan, Lob was a Dragons junior.
Lob was what I was thinking of. That's right. And then obviously the other second row there for Feeder.
Yeah, took a little personal battle between him and Cody Walker to really fire.
It was bloody good. The try that he scored. Try that he scored where he could have just ran into the gap and he chose to run right at him and right over him. Oh, it was bloody unreal. He did definitely picked himself.
Probably encapsulates why you love a back roller.
Yeah, I think I do. I love that sort of shit, and I think Cody Walker loved it as well. He seemed to be all
I
for
mean,
it.
he was the one that won the game by 30 odd points in the end. But
he was all for it. It was bloody good to see. And yeah, it's a tasty looking 13 this week, I must say. I think we've picked well. The players made it an easy job for us this week. But we do get back into a fully fledged 8-banger of a week. We've got a full Thursday through to Sunday lineup for you, and we start off Thursday night footy with the Sharkies up against the Dolphins. Now, Sharkies coming away with a good win after a fairly poor first. I don't want to say maybe a poor first half, just kind of standard of what we're seeing from the Broncos over the last few weeks. A good first half and a shit second. Whereas the Finns coming in fresh, still sitting there in that top 4. And this is the game where, they can really, stamp their name, I think. If they can go out there and beat the Sharkies in this one, they're really showing everyone else, look, we're here to play.
Yeah, it's a huge game, this one, really. What was it, 2nd or 3rd versus 4th? So, yeah, or did Cronulla go back above Melbourne on points difference?
Melbourne is still top, I believe.
Melbourne's still top. So, yeah, 2nd versus 4th. Big win for Cronulla, as you said. Managed to get up over a fading Brisbane side there. Royce Hunt was immense in that one to sort of turn the game for Cronulla there. And Trindle playing well, I thought.
Yep. He did play very well.
Kennedy having himself a good game. He tends to always play well for Cronulla whenever they win. So, shout out to them. Did you see Ronaldo Militalo went viral with that? Did you see the dude was like...
I didn't. It's not viral, is it?
He was doing that to him as he ran out, and he's like, oh, that's someone's dad. Pretending to suck a cock behind him.
Jesus.
He's running out for his 100th game. So, Ronaldo's in fine form on and off the field. Huge game, this one. The Sharkies up against the Finns. You'd probably back a Shark on
you back a Shark up
Dolphins,
against the Dolphin in a
on a one-on-one.
I like that. The sea creature derby. I like that.
Dolphins travel in pods. They could,
Yeah, Sharks seem to be more of a
solitary creature,
like a bit of a lone ranger. You often see a solo shark there cruising by himself. But I'm sure most sharks have family. I'm sure they'll be out there somewhere. I'd probably rather come up against a pod of dolphins than I would a pod of sharks.
100%, yeah.
But I'd probably also still rather come up against a solo dolphin than I would a solo shark. So
spin it whatever way you want. It looks like we're going for the Dolphins, really.
We are going for the Finns. I've opted away from a result because I do find that I started off putting on my bets thinking I was just going to go try scorers every game.
Yep.
And I opted out of it by the time I got to the second game on Friday. So, but I've just gone on a couple of try scorers, nice and easy. Again, I don't think I won anything last week. I don't think I've pulled off.
I think you had a couple of refunds or a couple of players.
I don't think I've pulled off a bet for about three weeks, to be fair. But the Hammer and Bostock both across the try line, 564.
I like it.
Nothing too hectic.
Nothing too hectic, but it plays in nicely with mine as well. So wouldn't mind if it came off. Dolphins 1-12 into Bostock as well. $8.28 for that one.
Yep, nothing wrong with that at all. So we will be fins up come Thursday night. Friday leads us down to the capital there, Canberra up against the Cowboys. Now the Raiders also coming in fresh, getting that free 2 points there over the weekend, and the Cowboys. I was backing the Cowboys to win this one, I have to say, up against the Wires.
Yep.
Really getting their ices handed to them in this one.
Yeah, definitely copping a bit of a pounding there up in Townsville. The Warriors getting up 42 points to 12 over the Cowboys. So They'll be looking to bounce back, but up against that fresh Canberra side, who I believe only had Hudson Young involved in Origin.
Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah, relatively fresh for this one. They're at home. The Cowboys haven't been travelling too well.
Oh, you've got to be confident if you Canberra.
I think Canberra, that's what I was leading to. Canberra will be coming in, hoping to. I think they might have just slipped out of the 8 based on this weekend's results, potentially. Maybe they're still hanging around. Yeah, they are. They're fifth. Okay.
They're happy. They're happy hunting up there. That's for sure.
Happy days. Finns
lose this game, their game, and the Raiders win, and all of a sudden they've made it into that top 4. So, yeah, you've got to be confident if you're Canberra going into this one, especially seeing how the Cowboys played there on the weekend. They really went up for it, and Warriors were able to run away with it. So I think if Canberra will be thinking if they can come out to a hot start in this one, there'll be no reason why they can't try and pile on the points. But the Cowboys are a really tough one because they've got the players. They've got the players out there.
They've got like 6 or 7 Origin players.
Yeah, but that's also hard because I feel like there's the Queensland teams most of the Origin players, and there's only 4 of them. There's the odd player here and there that's playing for Queensland, speckled elsewhere. Or someone like Payne Haas from New South over there in Brisbane. But Cowboys do have a pretty heavy Origin contingent there. But yeah, they've got the players. They just can't seem to pull a full 80 minutes together, it seems.
It's been a story of the last year and a half for the Cowboys there, really. Up against that Canberra side who, sort of the opposite. No one really has been given them much of a chance these last year and a half. And they're still hanging about in that top 8. So, I think, as we said, very confident if you are Canberra. But I've steered away from a result as well in this one. I've just gone back to the old favourite, 3 try scorers. Nene, Savage and Rapana all to score at any time, $15.12.
Yep, I've gone down a similar route as you, also chucking Nene in there. And going for the Origin man himself there, Hudson Young. 2 big boys there across the try line, 6-17. Nice way to start your Friday off, fingers crossed. Before we get into a really tasty game there, your second game on your Friday night footy, Bunnies up against the Broncos. Now, the Bunnies didn't. I was a bit torn whether I wanted the Bunnies to win or whether I wanted the Titans to win. But you're probably leaning towards the Bunnies winning based off the fact I think the Titans are more likely to be battling it out with us.
Yeah, long game.
But I don't think we're really going to be battling anyone. I think we're probably, Engravers are getting themselves ready, to be fair, on that spoon. But yeah, it's Bunnies on the weekend. Now, probably expected, I guess, the way that, well, I don't know if you want to say expected, because the way that the Bunnies have been playing, it's been fucking terrible, but you probably expect it to come right at some stage with the players they've got. And Latrell he's gone out and seen that, here's my chance to put in a performance and done it at the right time.
Yeah, 100%. Latrell was huge in that one. I thought as much as he was ragdolled by David Fafita, Cody Walker was also pretty good in that one. As well as, another few players for Souths. You don't want to be disrespectful to Gold Coast, but they have also been pretty poor at stages this year. So, while it is a big win for Souths, and they're definitely a confidence team with a few of those players in that side. I think, do you remember I said to you, the only 4 teams that Souths have beaten in the last year have been the Tigers, Dragons, Gold Coast, and someone else the Dogs, I think. So it's worrying signs there for the Souths. side in the long run, but last week they looked pretty good, so maybe it is the turning of a corner for them. We'll see up against some tougher opposition.
Yeah, big ass, and it's a Brisbane team who we...
Should they bring their best?
Do we have to bounce back after these two shit
Heavy
games?
was very unhappy in his press conference. To go from challenging, I'd still say they're in the challenge, it's so tight in and around there, but to go from, how many games they were winning last year, I think they might have, I don't know if they would have lost 6 games all year last year.
Nah, possibly not.
They were right up there with Penrith until the last week. And they were on like 40 points and Penrith got 42 or something.
They would have been pretty close, yeah.
So it's definitely not the same as last year, but then Reynolds is injured.
That's got a big part to play. I think missing Reynolds. But it's just they're just falling off second half. The last few weeks they're getting a good shift in the first half, come out, and then they seem to completely fall away. So if they do that up against informed Charles Mitchell, if he's out there, we're thinking, shit, there's no reason why we can't go out there and get another win here. I think they'll be really struggling come that second half if they haven't put on too big of a lead.
Yeah, to be fair, I think South's coming into this with a bit of confidence. Brisbane, whether or not there is a little bit of doubt there without Reynolds, we shall see come Friday night. South's, with that home advantage as well, always makes things a little bit easier for them. So, should be a good game. Look, I've gone for a bet that sort of contradicts what I've just been saying, but I'm chasing a bit of value in this one. Brisbane 13 plus, big bounce back for them. Into Latrell Mitchell to score a try, $9.18.
Yep, I've gone very, very similar. I don't think it's going to be as big of a win. I've just gone for the 1 to 12, and I've also gone into Latrell. And that's $7.32, so a little bit less.
Yep, I like it.
Coming back in, but both very, very similar bets there. We then kick off your Saturday footy with a bit of a shit show, really. The Tigers up against the Titans, 17th up against 16th. Both teams there, you total it together, you're conceding 102 points there on the weekend.
Yeah, it's
not good showing.
It's not good showing. The Tigers, plenty of news this week as well around young Lockie Galvin requesting a release. But Shane Richardson came out swinging with an interview saying he's under contract. If anyone tries to sort of pluck him away, I'll be coming in hard with a big old W into the NRL situation.
I did see that, yep. That's what he was saying.
Things are getting heated under Shane Richardson's collar at the moment.
I don't blame him if he has said that. I mean, the fact that he's had this broken hand for the last month and the Tigers have still made him play, you're better off literally now resting him for the rest of the season. Let him go and get surgery on his hand or whatever, fix himself up, get himself good, and let him come back next year when we've got Luai coming in. And I don't blame him if he has come out and said that. We're missing him for this game here. He's I'm guessing being rested based on the hand, not based on the possible comments.
Yeah, him and Sullivan are injured.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, Sullivan
did not have a great game.
Oh, I thought he played really, really well up until the sin bin. Honestly, I thought
everyone from the Tigers played really, really well for about 20-25 minutes there. Then the Dragons came back into it after the Tigers just kept dropping the ball.
Sullivan had a couple of
flashing brilliance towards the end of the half, brought you in with the lead.
That sin binning is he was. You could see how fired up Sullivan was going into that game. There was just a few times there where he was just like too like I'm here to fucking show you fellas, what I can do. He can go though. To be fair, I wouldn't mind if I never saw him play in a Tigers jersey again. I have to say, now that Caesar's back as well, we've got Caesar and Uppy there. in the halves this week, which is a little bit sad to see. I think Uppy's even come out and said he doesn't enjoy playing in the halves. But it is cool because we get to see Talon De Silva get the start there. So he's another young fella there, for the future. So hopefully we can have a little bit of luck go our way. What are we, 9 on the trot now without a win? Not good showing. Not good showing at all.
No, it definitely wasn't a good second half at all there for the Tigers. But yeah, it's sort of a tale of the two sides. 16th and 17th is probably just about fair enough going into this one.
Yep. Well and truly.
Based off the long run, both sides have had, for the Tigers, was it 2 or 3 games where they played really well. Gold Coast maybe 5 or 6 for them. A couple of tight losses along the way, but yeah, as you said, potential shit show. Maybe it just makes it a really close game, a good open affair. The fact that between them it was over 100 points conceded. Tough one to pick, I reckon.
Yep.
Tigers at home at Leichhardt as well, so you're always very strong at Leichhardt.
That's a plus. I didn't realise we were at Leichhardt. I just assumed we were playing some stupid home game somewhere else, as we always tend to do. And I mean, I quite like having the Tigers play at this time of the day. Saturdays, after golf, that's me getting ready to set myself up for sport for the rest of the day. So you get straight involved. It all depends on really how this one plays out. Really all depends on whether Devo Beach have got a 1 p.m. kickoff or a 3 p.m. kickoff. If they got a 3 p.m. kickoff, it kind of throws me off a little bit. I'm high chance maybe watching the game, maybe by myself, maybe with someone, but I haven't set myself up like I would be usually on a Saturday. We lose, I might watch it at home in bed and then not get out of bed, and there's your Saturday done and dusted. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed it doesn't happen though. I'll be hoping for a win. I'll be hoping for. I'd love a 40-point win, but if we can go 1-12 into a little Jazzy Olam try, just under $8 is $7.97. I'll be a happy chappy.
Yep, not bad value. If the Tigers can play well, they love it at Leichhardt, as we just said. I've gone similar. Tigers 1-12. Switched up Olam for Buller. $8.65 you're going to get for that.
Last year's old faithful there, the old 1-12 into Jari and Buller. First game done and dusted. Yeah, your meat of your Sammy there on your Super Saturday. The the Warriors up against the Storm. Now, always seems to be a bit of a spectacle, this one here.
Yep.
The Warriors up against the Storm. Warriors, as we said before, obviously handing the Cowboys that heavy defeat. And the Storm in a very high scoring game, running away the victors. It was tight there for a while up against the Knights.
Yeah.
But running away with it in the end, and it was quite a high scoring affair. It's not the same defensive Melbourne that we're used to seeing from years gone by. But they've got that spark there going forward, and they've got the players in there that can outscore most other teams. So this should be a really good one. Both teams coming off a win. They always both seem to be up for it. Warriors, I'm sure, will have a packed Mount Smart.
I think it's a sellout, yeah.
I believe it is a sellout. Roman was managed to get himself a ticket. And it will be filled with Warriors fans. There'll be quite a few fans out there keen to go based on the fact it's Melbourne. There was a lot of Roman's influence on why he bought a ticket. He's never seen Melbourne play live before. He's never seen them come over here and play. So I think it'll be a huge sellout, packed stadium, Saturday night. It'll be chilly. But yeah, it should be a bloody good spectacle, I reckon, this one.
Yeah, the Warriors are coming in, having definitely turned things around the last 3 or 4 weeks after, sort of not starting off the season in that hot form they showed last year, but certainly we're getting a lot of praise early on in the season, and they fell off, but they've bounced back in style over the last few weeks with 3 wins and a bye to collect. 8 points.
Ever since Magic Round, I believe.
Ever since that one over Penrith, yeah.
Yep, since Magic Round, I saw a thing, old mate, what's his name? Not Guru. NRL always
the same thing last
time
time.
as I did last time, yeah.
Or 2 weeks ago,
he posted something saying that the Warriors are unbeaten since he wore that shirt, so maybe it's has luck rubbing off on them there, but they'll be hoping that has a little bit of a turn in form for them. I still don't think they're playing the best footy that they can, the Warriors. Obviously, there's still a very injury-hit squad at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think...
But there's players in there that you're going, shit, who was it? One of the players even said, these boys that we've got in coming in, playing that well, did the others get in? It might have been Dallin jokingly saying it, but there's a shout for some of these blokes that
Yeah, look, I mean, there's certainly a shout for a lot of them, as the Warriors get a few players back from injury that they still have out, but really good signs for them. Melbourne, I was about to say probably not in typical Melbourne form. As you just said, with their defence looking pretty leaky at the moment, but they do still sit top of the table, so very familiar territory for Bellamy and his Melbourne boys. It's going to be a tough ask for them coming over to Mount Smart with the Warriors playing the way they are. It's always either a very close game
or a big Melbourne
or a
win.
Melbourne win by like 50.
Yeah, we're not going to see a Warriors 13 plus.
I don't think we're going to see Melbourne by 50 in this one. I think it's probably going to come down to the wire, maybe a little penalty decision.
I was very close to going golden point for this one. I was very close to chucking in the golden point for this game here. It's got that feel about it.
Hughes comes back to New Zealand, wants to put on a big performance in front of a few family potentially, a few friends.
I just think it's got that sort of vibe about it. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be a bit of a flip of the coin. Warriors coming into a bit of form, and Melbourne top of the table for a reason. So I am leaning that way. I'm going Melbourne 1-12, and I'm going to one of my new favourite players, Far Long, the new fullback there with Pappenhausen out, and very kind of like your Benji, Marshall, Sean Johnson touch style stepping,
They keep churning him out, Melbourne, his fullbacks.
Unreal on his feet, and he's been involved in some pretty tasty plays in a 5-6 game career so far. So I've chucked him in there, 7.34, and a little Storm win there, hopefully.
Yeah, not bad value at all. I've just gone the other side of the coin, really. Warriors 1-12. Chance nickel clock start to score again. $7.51.
Yep.
You're going to get for that one?
Pretty similar outcomes there. That leads you into your Parramatta Roosters game. That's your third game of your Super Saturday. The Roosters there, the third team, being rested last week, taking that 2 free points up against this Parramatta team who possibly feeling a little bit unlucky to lose this one here up against the Doggies. Now, I'm going to have to be honest, I missed this whole game. I knew it kicked off at 6. The old Monday night netball tipping off. A little bit later than usually on 4:50 game rather than the 4 o'clock. You're sitting in traffic, you've got to get your swim in. Ended up getting all of that sort of stuff done. Had to write a little bit of schoolwork quickly for about half an hour. And by that stage it was about 7, and I kind of had forgotten by that stage, rolled over to Jay's, and it was about 8:30 by the time we both realised, when does that game start? And it's already done and dusted. But I did see just a little snippet today. I actually haven't even read much about it, but a little snippet of Gutho having a bit of a go at the ref there about a pretty bad call that was made, and sort of he was saying that they'll come out tomorrow and say it was a shit call and that was what cost them the game, and but I'm actually unsure about what the call was. Yeah,
to be honest, I also missed part of this game. I did watch the highlights, but I don't know exactly what call Gutho is talking about in that one. But yeah, Parramatta did well to get up to an 18-10 lead in that one, and then they even had a sin bin in their favour. Kurt Mann bin for the Dogs there, but the Doggies coming back through huge performance from Stephen Crichton, Blake Wilson as well, with some magic feet really. Absolutely carved it up, but Parramatta probably similar story to the Broncos. Really good first half, fell off second
Fell
half.
off in the second half, and again they're a team down there near the bottom of the table now. 15th, I believe. After that game, there sitting there at 15th. And I keep saying Imogen at work, I can't wait to play the Eels again, because we might actually get another bloody win. One of the two teams that we have beaten this year, the Eels. So it's going to be a real tough ask, I think, up against this refreshed Roosters team, who were just scoring points for fun over the last month and a half or so. So Eels are really going to have to be up for it in this one. Moses is back though. It's obviously a big help for them. Helps them score a few more points, leads them around the park a bit. So they'll be maybe quietly confident there in Parramatta that they can pull off a bit of an upset.
Yeah, they're always pretty strong at Bank West Stadium? Is that what it's called? Not CommBank? CommBank. It was Bank West Stadium.
Bank West.
CommBank Stadium out in Parramatta there. They get a pretty good turnout. The Roosters, they've been playing well overall this season, but apart from one or two results, possibly a little bit of a recent slump for them. Ever since, I guess, Magic Round as well, losing to Cronulla in that one. But yeah, off a bye, coming up against a side that does sit 15th. I think the Roosters will probably also come into this one quietly confident. It should be a good game based on the fact that it's two good sides, but yeah, you just don't know what Parramatta team you're going to get. Usually in these big games, they do turn up and put in a really good shift. And yeah, I think Mitch Moses is out there sort of putting in that last audition for his blue number 7 to return that he had last year. Once Cleary went down injured, so I think there's a big chance of that happening, particularly if he goes out and does well. So yeah, should be a good game, I reckon.
Yeah, I definitely think it should be a pretty tasty looking matchup there to finish off your Saturday. Like I said, I think Eels, really going to have to be on form for this one here. I am leaning towards a little Roosters win, a little 1-12, and Joey Manu, the man to get himself a median, up my bet a little bit there, $6.08.
Yep, not bad at all. Joey Manu is looking pretty automatic these days. I think he's like 10-12, so pretty good stuff there. I've gone, not so much other side of the coin. Mitch Moses into a Parramatta 1-12 win. But as I said, he's going to be out there auditioning for that number 7.
Yep.
He'll put in a big performance, guide Parramatta to a win through a meaty of his own, 14.53.
Yep, I like that. But definitely a little bit of value there in that one.
Takes you into Sunday.
Tease you up with Sunday, exactly. Manly up against your Dragons there.
Yep.
Obviously, the Dragons probably, not really getting out of first or second gear in that one, and they're going to have their work cut out for them, I think, up against this Manly team, who definitely gave Penrith a run for their money in that one there on Sunday. Sunday
they played, Manly were pretty good. Obviously always tough ask going out to Penrith to pick up a win, even without Cleary, as we've been saying, but the Dragons don't know if got out of second gear is the right way to put it. Zach Lomax was certainly flying.
He was flying.
Hunt was flying. Yeah, I think it was probably our best
Maybe
performance.
we didn't get out of second. We might not have got out of second gear. Possibly is more the way to look at it.
That's probably the problem. It was probably the best half of football I've seen from the Dragons. Certainly this decade, since we rolled into 2020 something.
Yep.
It's the best I've seen from the Dragons in a half of football at least.
The second half.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch the full 80 minutes.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect
I left with I left Jay's maybe with 8 minutes to go, I think it was, and I was just like, oh fuck this, like I may as well just go. That's game set and match. I may as well go home and fucking get myself ready for bed and golf and I think I just got in the door and my phone buzzed and it was Jaden texting me saying 50, or maybe I just pulled into the driveway, so it had only been like 4 minutes later, you know, didn't take me long to get back. And then he got the text to say 50, and then it was maybe I had 15 minutes to go or something like that. I think I missed 2 tries right then at the death. So, but they did play bloody well, I thought.
Yeah,
but it's again a case of us shooting ourselves in the foot. I mean, even with 13 on 13, the way you guys played, I don't think we were going to get a win there. But I don't think it was the toughest of games for your lads there. So
no, once we got on a roll, you guys, it's tough to say gave up because you don't want to say give up because it's tough to accuse the players of that, I guess. But certainly looked like they were, seeing stars, so to speak. A little bit deer caught in the headlights once the Dragons swung that momentum. But yeah, I think the Dragons come in with a lot of confidence for this one, having previously beaten Manly this year. But yeah, to go up to Brookie, around the corner to Brookie, over the bridge, it's always a tough ask for any side, let alone a side that isn't in the top 8 at the moment after the Bulldogs' escapades last night. But
you're sitting in 9th, are you?
Sitting in 9th, so hopefully if we can pick up one more win, that puts us back in.
If you can get above that, you know, you get into that,
way.
as I've always said, you know, you get into that pack that's being chased.
It's very competitive.
It's a better place to be than being the chasee.
So we're 6 points behind Storm, who've had 2 byes. And we've got another bye coming up, so look how tight it is, 22 all the way down to 14 there. 10, 8. Probably, yeah. I mean, you're probably going to be battling it out with the Titans.
We've even got bad defence this year. At least last year when we were fucking last, we were only losing games by 10.
That performance just, it took a big win from the Bunnies and a big loss from the Tigers.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. And we would have been better than the Titans and possibly even better than the Eels, you know what I mean? But still not like last year.
But anyway, Dragons Manly, it should be a tight one based off the fact that the Dragons come in with a bit of confidence, but we have seen a few shockers, and I believe that still, even with that big win, leaves us in the negative points differential. Yep, minus 34. So the worst of the pack there, really, apart from Newcastle.
Yeah, you've conceded some points, that's for sure.
Yeah, we've had a couple of big losses. You think of Anzac Day, that was pretty ugly with the Chooks racking up 60, I believe.
Yeah, that's right, it was 60.
And Manly are a side that they've got a few players that can do some damage. Should they get the momentum up, if it is a Dragons loss, it could be a big one. But yeah, I like to think coming off a big win, even though it is no offence up against those lowly Tigers at the moment, that the Dragons can go well. It's not going to influence my bet. I'm still always going to go 13 plus, but a bit more value with the trip to Manly.
That's a bit more value than what we were getting.
$5.60.
What we were getting last week, that's for sure.
Pretty much at least doubled it, almost tripled it. We'll call it maybe 2.5 times more value.
No, I was going to say I don't know if I like it. I'm going for a bit of a...
It's tough to see it happening.
And spite bet here, I guess. A little bit of revenge bet, and I guess I've always, I'm
starting with Jay.
I'm not a second and third team sort of dude, but we were talking about this with Jay, and I was talking about with Jay the other day, and I did sort of say that the other two teams that I've probably got soft spots for would be my second and third if I was ranking, would be Manly and the Dragons, based off the fact, although I watch 90% of the league every weekend, the two teams I've probably watched the most of. I've watched games, you watch a game with your mate, and if it's not against your team, you want your mate to win, especially if it's been like the Tigers maybe 4 or 5 years ago had got to win, and then you guys were playing, and it's like, yeah, sweet, we both got to win this weekend. Or, I've been to a game at Mount Smart and cheered on Manly up against the Warriors, so I'm siding with Jay. I will no doubt, I guess as well, maybe, hey, look, if you weren't living so far away, I might have been siding with you. I might have been watching the game with you on a Sunday. So I'll be watching with Jaden. So I'm going for a maroon, burgundy coloured win there, up against 1 to 12, a close one ideally. Into the big man Ola Kawada, who hopefully gets around. I could be getting a little refund there. I only played 13 minutes. There on Sunday for them, so I'll be siding with Jay in the second team derby there. Maybe this is the decider. Whoever wins, maybe if Manly win, then they're my second team.
It goes into next year because we beat them.
You'd be 1-1. You're true that. So we'll have to wait and see. But that is your opening game there for your Sunday. It leaves us with the Knights up against the Panthers to finish off your round for this week. The Knights, obviously, as we were saying before, given Melbourne a run for their money, but not able to get the win in the end. And Panthers, as we just said, being Manly, taking that 10-point win and having probably maybe slightly more of a challenge than they were expecting to have in this one, I think. But clear list, Penrith.
Yeah, a clear list, Penrith making the trip up to Newcastle. We've seen Newcastle play pretty well up against Penrith in a couple of games over the last few years. So no reason why they can't do it again. Both sides obviously unfortunately missing their star man still, but Penrith looking pretty good, particularly their origin players on their return, backing up from New South Wales loss there, but Toa looked good, Yo looked good, Luai was also pretty good. They've got Edwards named again this week, so he'll be coming out looking to remind Madge who's in line for that number 1 jumper, I think. Newcastle, at home, I don't see why they can't lift. They've been playing some pretty good footy. They've been picking up a few wins. Oh, I think he had a big injury, bro.
Is he back at all this season?
I think so.
Where's your casualty ward there? Surely that's casual ward. There you go. Stars plenty. That one. I think you can go just scroll down to the bottom.
There's
click on the club.
Club, nice.
Are we rocking an indefinite? Round 22, they reckon. Yeah. But Armstrong out now as well, so obviously didn't play there on the week. That's a pretty, 4 solid players there. Missing Best, Saifidi, Ponga, Armstrong, Gamble not a
huge superstar, but he played well for them in the run-in last year when they were going well. So although Jackson Hastings is playing pretty well at the moment,
whether or not it's enough to get them over the line in this one, It's tough. It's going to be very, very tough, I think, as well. Missing Armstrong and missing Ponga. Who have they got named at 1 there? Who played 1 for them on the weekend with Armstrong not playing? I can't remember. Jesus, what am I doing? Should have just done that in the first place.
I forgot his name.
Right down the bottom. Fletcher Sharp.
Fletcher Sharp.
Did he play last week as well?
Yeah. Off the bench, I believe.
Who started 1?
Can't remember.
Because
maybe he just had like a high number.
Possibly might have a.
And Armstrong pulled out late.
We have Fletcher Sharp rocking the 22. Okay, so it's it's going to be a tough ask for them. I said we're both thinking pretty similarly there. Both rocking that 13 plus for Penrith, and I was right. It wasn't a try last week. I've chucked him in my bet this week. JFH. That's going to get you $13.10. That one there.
Yeah. Big value for the big man. I like it. As you said, I'm also Penrith 13 plus. I've gone for Bradman Best and Dylan Edwards to get at least 2 as a duo. So sort of hedging my bets a little bit there. $7.58. That one's going to bring you in.
I like the old duo bet. Nothing wrong with that. It leaves you with a Bulldogs bye. Now, as we said before, they've snuck their way into the 8. They're now getting a free 2 points. Who would have thought start of the season you'd have the Doggies in the 8 this point in the year?
I think,
they're getting better each year, but this seems to be the year where everything's sort of starting to click for them here, the Dogs. So interesting to see whether or not they can stick it out, get that finals footy that they've been longing for a wee while now.
If they can stay fit and healthy with their main men, I think they'll be able to do it. I think Sorrello, along with that sort of senior leadership group, they're sort of making everyone lift that little bit.
It does seem to be a little bit extra around the Doggies at the moment.
Yeah, like players that over the last couple of years probably haven't done as well, either at other clubs or at the Dogs, have definitely improved a lot. And then you've got the superstars like Stephen Crichton at the top of his game as ever, and then Matty Burton sort of starting to realise that potential that we all saw of him early days in Penrith there, before he shifted out to the centres. Dangerous with that big left boot of his, and then Viliame Kikau to come back as well.
Yeah, that's big.
Don't know when he's due back, whether it was a sort of 3-4 weeker or maybe longer.
I'm not too sure, but it's a big play to get back in. But I think this bye coming in at a lovely time for them. They've just made it into the 8. They bank another 2 points and hope that someone there above them has a loss this weekend and they become part of that chased pack. That's probably it in terms of the footy. We do have a little bit of rumble action kicking off. We've got the Euros starting up this Sunday. We're involved in our own little sweepstake there with the Devo Beach boys. You got a little bit of confusion coming back watching the video on
very stingy. Thought I'd come in. Thought I'd nab myself Spain there
with the old fourth pack.
I was going in pretty chuffed. Thought I had a decent
actually
chance.
Just getting the fourth pack.
Yeah, fourth pack in the good draft, so to speak.
And who'd you pull out?
Serbia. So unless Mitrovic can go out there and play the football of his life.
Couple of shocking pulls. I didn't pull my own, but Collins pulled for me and got me Hungary. I managed to get Austria for him. We got Turkey for Jay. Collins even called "Come on Georgia" for Osh as we pulled out Georgia for Osh. So that was quite rigged, I've got to say.
Dodgy, yeah.
We do kick off this weekend. The England squad has been announced, and like we've got there, no Madison, no Grealish, and no defenders. You're pretty much bang on there.
Probably the big talking points around that England squad. I think, as a whole, it looks like a pretty good squad. You probably have to give Southgate some credit for sticking away from the likes of Marcus Rashford, Jordan Henderson.
I'm glad
players
he's
like that,
got a few players out there.
I think
Branthwaite.
I think he's one or two defenders short.
Branthwaite and Tarkowski probably I'd take, even though Tarkowski's probably not involved really in there. It's your two most clean sheets in the Premier League.
Dunk as well, surely.
It's your two most clean sheets. They had the best centre back pairing, and I know that they also had games where they shipped a few goals, Everton. But to have, and I mean, that combination of them there with Pickford, you know.
Oh, you've got Foden, Rice, and Bellingham ahead of you in midfield.
It's a lot different.
The other team's barely going to get the ball.
It's a lot different to having other Everton midfielders there. No offence to them, but like that trio defensively.
Or
most
Germany,
clean sheets.
England would dominate the ball against every side, I reckon, apart from France.
Yeah. So it's
a strange one. Whether or not he's looking to maybe.
I don't think they win it anyway, England. I don't think anyone wins it bar France.
Yeah, France are looking very, very
and
hard.
And you've got that odd outside shout for Germany based on it being in Germany. That's my only thing. They always seem to fuck out in these big tournaments, and they don't have a striker apart from Havertz, I guess.
Yeah.
And if Havertz can go out there and win the Euros for Germany, I'd bloody love it, because to have him coming back confident like that would be unreal. I think France is probably my go-to there. They're my team to beat.
France are looking good. I think if anyone is to pit them based on talent, England could do it. I just don't think England quite have the experience there across the board.
Not this.
They've got Harry Kane, but you know,
can't win a trophy.
Yeah, like as much as a joke, as a gooner, like
he can't win a trophy anywhere.
And look, Jude Bellingham, he's coming in as just about the hottest thing in world football, but he's coming up against the man who is sure to knock him off his perch as Real Madrid's number one next year, and Mbappe for France. Should things go to plan, as you said, Germany, they should be a good shout at home. Toni Kroos coming out of retirement for them, so one last, I guess, tournament for him before he hangs up the boots.
Yep.
Announcing that after the champion, or maybe even potentially before the Champions League final, I can't remember, but last kick of the ball at a professional level for Toni Kroos. So they'll be fired up.
Winning penalty against England in a final.
Oh yeah, just going out there with nothing to lose.
Imagine that, your last kick as a player like that.
He's a crazy player. They've got plenty of talent. Obviously, you've got a few gooners running around the place. 10 or 12 there. Obviously, you've got Decky, Rice, Saka, and Ramsdale.
Ramos probably doesn't play a game while he's there.
Might play one game if England
if they win their first two, or if they lose their first two.
And Pickford goes down injured. He's obviously coming on.
Yeah. Rice and Saka both start, I think, in most people's teams.
Yeah, Rice and Saka.
Rice definitely. Saka, it's a hard one with the attack, and I can see why some people might not start Saka.
Saka's been England's Player of the Year the last 2 or 3 years, but you do have the two hottest properties coming out of the Premier League in Cole Palmer and
one of the, I can,
Phil Foden.
You can argue both of those players. I'd still
play. I think Jude Bellingham is an automatic pick.
Oh, 100%.
You can't not pick him, and whether or not it's 10, whether or not you potentially can find a way to get Saka and Palmer on the wings and Foden plays the 10 with Jude.
That's
a little bit.
That's how I
behind.
go. That's the way I'd go.
Especially with no defenders.
Yeah.
You've got to just, like, the old saying, attack is the best form of defence.
100%. That's the way I'd go. Cole Palmer's young, he's fit. Same with Foden. They're going to have to do a bit of defensive work, but
you've got the likes of Kyle Walker back there. He's a great defender. At right back, he could always potentially look at it like a back three, maybe.
Yeah.
Don't know how he's thinking, Gareth Southgate there, but yeah, plenty of other gooners as well involved.
Germany, as we said before, you've got
no more than one for each team, though, right?
That's quite unusual, yeah. Saliba, they're going to be taking that winning medal at the end, most likely. He'll be starting. as will Havertz, I imagine, will also start. We're thinking up top for
Most
Germany.
likely, yeah.
David Raya not probably going to be involved
Probably
very much.
similar position
Similar
to Ramsdale.
Ramsdale, sitting there as the second. Jorginho.
He's in the squad.
He's in the
Whether or not
squad.
that's for experience or to actually play.
You've got Nico Barella probably starting there for them.
Italy, a very, very homegrown squad. I've only got like 3 players that play elsewhere.
That's pretty cool.
Maybe
Trossard.
not homegrown, but at least they're all playing in Italy
there,
now. Yeah.
Trossard in there for the Belgian team.
Yeah, they'll always be a shout with.
With
De
De
Bruyne.
Bruyne.
Lukaku, he plays well for Belgium.
Lukaku, and they've now got this Trossard who's playing some great footy.
Yeah, pretty much had the season of his life.
Kivior over there for Poland. They're probably not in with a shout, but
Not in with a shout, but they could pull off a
Lewandowski can
shot.
score a goal or two, you know.
They could sneak their way into the round of 16 there, you know.
And then Zinchenko rounding out the list of gooners there for Ukraine. Again, not really
Much of a chance,
but they
hopefully,
do have a very easy pull.
and hopefully there'll be a bit of neutral support. Given
I think there would be, yeah.
what's gone on there in the last couple of years.
I just know I watched a football manager video where a dude simmed the Euros 100 times, and Ukraine did win it at least once. They actually won it 5 times, I believe. They made 5 finals and won all 5. But more the fact, I think they qualified for the round of 16 like 81 times.
So they really built up
based on their group. I think their group is quite easy in that one there. So but that'll kick off on Sunday. There's been more international sporting action on. We have obviously we briefly touched on it last week. The start of the 2020 Cricket World Cup. Now there's been a few upsets here and there. We've seen America take out Pakistan.
Yeah, probably the shock of the tournament so far, winning in that super over there. That
Huge.
was pretty cool to see for pretty much anyone bar a Pakistan
fan. 100%. I can imagine India would have been loving that.
Yeah, the Indians would have been out in force after that one. They certainly banter each other on any cricket post. You see like USA have beaten Canada,
and then the comments
it'll
are
be
just
like, India will beat
abuse.
Pakistan tonight.
Abuse.
India will beat Pakistan tonight. They love it. And India beat Pakistan as well.
And without having
in a bit of a shocker, low scoring affair. There's been a few of those.
There's been some very low
dodgy pitches.
We've seen
boundaries.
We've seen Uganda pull out 35, I believe it was. Up against,
that's the West Indies.
Not good for us because we can still beat the West Indies and not go through.
Yeah.
Based off net run rate, I know that Afghanistan
lost to Afghanistan, obviously not doing
that does not
any
help us at all.
favours.
So imagine that we don't go through to a team like Afghanistan. You know, that would be crazy. But not a good start for the Black Caps, is it? Really, we go back again. Is it tomorrow or the day after up against the Windies?
It might be tomorrow night. It might even be tonight.
It might even be tonight. Well, surely, well, the timing can't be right for that, is it? I don't know. America's a bloody big place.
Yeah, no, but it's also in the Windies.
It's in the Windies as well, is it? I didn't realise that. I just gathered.
Windies and America.
Thursday night. Starts at 12:30 in the afternoon. Lovely.
Okay.
We'll be in today. South Africa beat Bangladesh. Okay, tomorrow Pakistan, Canada, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Aussie, Namibia. I'd say you're pretty certain on your 3 winners there. Although Sri Lanka are bottom of their pool.
Although Pakistan, they'll be nervous having just lost to the Americans.
Nepal would be keen on
a
little bit of an upset, I would imagine. But we'll have to cross our fingers there for Thursday.
Yeah, we'll have to cross our fingers we're not supporting some buzzy neutral team in the
knockouts.
The knockout phases.
I think if there's any team to support, it's got to be America. If that's the case, Koreans sitting out there, not doing anything for them. But
Bob won over.
Bob won over and got hit for 6 runs, I believe it was.
Yeah,
and
decent over, but
got got three, I think it was, not out for 3 off 5 balls, or not out for 5 off 3 balls in the game against Canada. So, and I think in that one maybe got a wicket and a catch.
Yeah, he's like batting 6 for them, which is a bit bizarre, but obviously a few talented cricketers moved to America.
It's a move to America situation. I showed my mum the team list, and she said it wasn't very unique.
It's definitely a sort of first generation.
Their best
Americans.
player is a computer software engineer.
Yeah, and you can tell he's definitely him or his parents have moved there from India.
Yeah,
or somewhere in the subcontinent.
A little bit of Caribbean influence in there by the looks of it.
Oh yeah.
But it's cool. It's cool to see. And it's cool to see. I saw a cool video of Dale Steyn being taught how to bowl by one of those volunteer people, you know. He's telling him, no, you need to bring your arm over more, and like it's got to bounce before it hits the wickets, and obviously no clue who he is, which is great. But yeah, plenty of international sport on at the moment. We did have a little bit of darts, and I got your hopes up last week thinking Hopes was involved in the old Nordic Darts Open. Now, it wasn't the Nordic Darts Open, I believe it was the Nordic Darts Masters, so there was no Hopes there. We saw one of your top 8 there missing out, and as always, Peter Wright seeming to be falling away a little bit. The only one of the pros to not make it through, and we saw Gerwyn Price get back on the winning stage there, beating Rob Cross, who's been playing some bloody good darts at the moment, taking him out in the final. There was no MVG and there was no Luke Littler involved in that tournament. Now this weekend, I feel like for some reason we might have a week off. The World Cup coming up in a couple of weeks. We don't want to go on the channel dashboard. We're after PDC now. What have I fucking done there? I've too risky with the mouse. Am I right there? We've got Players Championships tonight and tomorrow, so Hopes is involved in that. Also involved in your European Tour qualifiers, and they're off to Poland this weekend. Now, we won't be seeing Hopes involved there. Whether or not we can see a little Polish home qualifier, Krzysztof Ratajski, I'm sure will be he'll be able to give any of those players a run for their money. So if we can see one of the homegrown talents getting a win there, that'd be cool. And I say, was it a couple of weeks? Was it end of June, I believe? The World Cup. We see another European Darts Open event. And the World Cup of Darts, 27th to the 30th of June. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a couple of late nights over that weekend there. Jumping up to watch Hopes and Ben Robb. Hopefully get themselves a couple of wins.
Yeah, surely a little advance from the first round.
Yeah, I believe we saw it last year or the year before, but
not last year.
Not last year. We looked at that, didn't we already? Last year they got done in by
Ben Robb and Warren Parry that made it.
It was Matters Razma that did them in last year, Latvia. But that's it for another week from us, as always. If you've made it this far, thank you for listening, thank you for tuning in. Remember to get involved in all your socials, give us a like, a 5-star, a subscription. Enjoy your week ahead. Enjoy whatever sports you may be getting involved with over the week. If you're having a punt, do so responsibly, and hopefully we'll see you here next week.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll see you then.
Ciao.
Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test champions.